Welcome back to J.Reddit. Today we're starting with a story that feels less like a simple Reddit post and more like watching a full movie where you already know the ending is bad, but you can't look away. This is about a father, his loneliness, a young woman, and $20,000 that vanished in just 2 months. Who calls himself Super Gamer, tells us about his dad. His dad is in his early 60s, and OP even jokes that he looks a little like Danny DeVito. Now, no disrespect to Danny, we love him, but OP says this to make a point. His dad is not the kind of man you would expect to be dating women in their early 20s. He's not rich, not tall, not charming like some movie star. But loneliness does strange things to people, and when you feel unseen for years, even the smallest bit of attention can feel like gold. One day, his dad is driving for Uber. A 21-year-old girl gets into his car. She looks young, vulnerable, and during the ride, she opens up. She tells him she's homeless, struggling, doesn't know where she's going to sleep that night. For most drivers, this would just be a sad story to hear. Maybe they'd wish her luck and move on. But not OP's dad. Something inside him flips. Suddenly, he feels like this is his chance to matter. His chance to be important to someone. His chance to be a hero. He doesn't just drop her off. He offers to pay for her hotel. One night, just so she's not on the street. Sounds kind, right? But here's the thing about lines. Once you cross them once, it gets easier and easier to keep going. That just one night turned into 2, then a week, then several weeks. Before long, Dad wasn't just helping. He was fully supporting her. He was covering her hotels, her food, her transportation. He even gave her spending money. And then, like a snowball rolling downhill, it became bigger. He bought her a car. He pulled strings to get her a job. He gave her whatever she asked. F4! And in the space of 2 short months, this man spent around $20,000 on her. Now here's the thing. If he was a wealthy man, maybe this would just be foolish. But he's not. He doesn't have savings. He doesn't have investments. His credit score is in the 300s, which is basically financial rock bottom. He can't even qualify for a basic loan, but he still finds ways to hand over cash. How? He borrows it. From who? From his own son. From OPA. And not honestly. He lies. He tells his son he needs money for bills, or for something important. Something reasonable. OP, being a good son, gives it to him. Only later does he find out it all went straight into this young woman's hands. Imagine that betrayal. Your own father lying to you so he can fund a stranger's lifestyle. And it's not like nobody saw this coming. The warnings were everywhere. People tried to open his eyes. The girl's own friend reached out to him and said, "She's still with her ex. She's using you." Even the ex's mom said the same thing. Multiple people told him directly, "She's not serious about you. She's taking advantage." But every single time, his answer was the same. "They're just jealous. They don't like her." He brushed it all off. In his mind, he wasn't being scammed. He was the lucky one. He had finally found love, and then there's the car. Yes! He bought her a car. Can you believe that? A man who can't even pay his debts, who's borrowing money from his son, bought a car for a 21-year-old woman he barely knows. And what does she do with it? She takes it straight back to her ex. The car keeps ending up with this other guy over and over again, to the point where the police have to recover it. Imagine that your dad's girlfriend keeps giving away the car he bought her, and the police are dragging it back like a stolen toy. But even that didn't wake him up. Eventually, she convinces him to sign the car over to her officially. Now it's hers. Gone for good. And just when you think this story can't sink any deeper, he does something permanent. He tattooed her name on his body. After 2 months after, $20,000 gone. After a car taken away, after warnings from everyone in his life, he puts her name on his skin forever. At this point, Opie says it feels like he's watching a slow-motion train crash. He doesn't know what to do. Should he fight to stop it? Should he try to cut her off? Should he beg his father to see the truth? Or should he step back, let it all explode, and then be there to pick up the pieces? Reddit's advice was harsh but real. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Don't give him any more money. Because here's the brutal truth. On some level, his dad knows. He knows this girl is using him. He knows it doesn't add up. But he doesn't care. The attention she gives him, the smiles, the affection, the feeling of being wanted to him. That feels worth the price. And how do you compete with that? You can't! As one commenter said, young hot girl scams old lonely man out of money. It's a story as old as time. And friends, that's just the beginning. Because what makes this story wild isn't only the money, it's the psychology. It's what loneliness can do to a person. It's how a 60-year-old man with no savings can still convince himself that he's found true love in a stranger who's taking everything from him. And get ready. Because this next story might be one of the strangest and funniest posts you'll ever hear from are relationships. It's about love, trust, intimacy, and rats. Yes, you heard that right. Rats.rop is a 32-year-old man who has been with his girlfriend, a 33-year-old woman, for 3 years. They've been close friends, even longer, about 6 years, so their bond is strong. They live together. They share everything. And in his words, they're still very passionate. In fact, he describes their sex life as we're horny as hell and says they hook up almost every single day. So, on the surface, everything looks perfect. But a few months ago, something changed. Something small at first, almost unnoticeable. During intimacy, he started to realize that his girlfriend's natural scent. Yes! We're talking about that. Scent had shifted. It wasn't bad. It wasn't fishy. It wasn't dirty. Just different. And at first, he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Then, one day, it hit him like a ton of bricks. The smell reminded him of something he knew very, very well. It smelled exactly like a lab rat cart. Now, if you've never worked in a lab, you might not know what that means. But OP has worked in research labs for more than a decade. He knows the smell better than anyone. Imagine dozens of cages filled with rodents, mice, rats, stacked on a cart. The bedding, the animals, the food pellets, the waste. It creates a very distinct odor. Not disgusting, but unforgettable. If you've ever smelled it, you'll recognize it instantly. And somehow, this exact scent seemed to be coming from his girlfriend. He thought, okay, maybe I'm imagining things? Maybe it's just my brain connecting random dots. But the more times it happened, the more convinced he became. This wasn't in his head. Her scent had actually changed into something that reminded him of rodents. And so, he started playing detective. He checked if she had changed her diet. Nope. Same as before. Any new supplements? No. Any new birth control? Still the same. Shampoo! Conditioner! Lotion! Body wash! All the same brands. Laundry products! Same two Annie knows because he does the laundry himself. He even got weird about it. One day, while putting away her clothes, he sniffed around her underwear drawer. Nothing completely normal. The strange smell only showed up during intimacy. And strangely enough, it disappeared during her period, then came back afterwards. So what was going on? She works in marketing. No connection to labs. No pets, no rodents. Opie showers immediately when he gets home from the lab, changes clothes, and keeps his work items separate. He doesn't even smell like rodents himself. His girlfriend always tells him he smells like skin and soap. So where in the world was this coming from? Out of desperation, he even Googled rodent vagina. Big mistake. He says he regretted it instantly. The internet provided him with nothing useful, just nightmares he couldn't unsee. Now, here's the important part. He completely trusts his girlfriend. He knows she isn't cheating. He says if she ever did, he would expect her to just talk about it openly, because that's the kind of relationship they have. Besides, what would cheating even explain here? What? Some other guy has a rat D asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. That doesn't even make sense. Opie jokes. Maybe I have a rat D asterisk, 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 asterisk since I work in a lab. But deep down, it's eating him alive. How do you even bring this up to the person you love? What words do you use? Imagine waking up in the morning, kissing your girlfriend, and saying, "Good morning, beautiful." By the way, you smell like a rat cart. That's a relationship ender right there. So he goes to Reddit for advice. And Reddit does what Reddit does best. It gives him a mix of wisdom, comedy, and chaos. The first and most repeated piece of advice: never use the words rat or rodent in this conversation. Don't even think about it. Just tell. Your natural scent feels different lately. I noticed it, and I kind of miss your old smell. That way, it sounds almost romantic. It doesn't make her feel dirty or weird. It makes it sound like he loves her natural scent so much. He noticed a change. That's a gentle way to open the conversation. Other commenters got more serious. They said it could be a medical issue, like BV, bacterial vibe. BV is common, and it can change a woman's scent into something musky or animal-like. It's not dangerous if treated, but it's embarrassing to talk about. So maybe, instead of focusing on lab rat smell, Opie should gently encourage her to see a doctor. But of course, this is Reddit. The jokes had to come. One commenter asked, "Are you sure your girlfriend isn't just 100 rats in a trench coat pretending to be a woman?" Another said, "Maybe lab rats smell like P asterisk. Asterisk why? Have you ever considered that?" And OP even played along, replying, "That would explain why she likes cheese so much. I thought she was just Italian." At this point, people in the comments were half laughing, half worried. Some were giving actual advice about BV. Others were just here for the comedy. And OP? He's still stuck. He knows something is different. He knows he can't just blurt it out, but he can't unsmell it either. And that's where the story leaves us. A man who loves his girlfriend deeply, who trusts her fully, but who is absolutely bewildered by a mystery his nose won't let him forget. Alright friends, before we dive into the next story, let me ask you something. How are you doing today? Did you fight with your girlfriend yesterday? Or maybe your boyfriend forgot your anniversary? Maybe your mom called you 5 times in a row just to ask if you've eaten. Or your dad gave you one of those long life lectures about saving money. We all deal with family and relationships every single day, right? Some days is love and laughter, and other days it feels like pure chaos. And that's why I love these Reddit stories, because when you hear what other people are going through, you realize you're not alone. In fact, sometimes you'll be grateful your own life isn't quite this messy. Let's get into today's next story. Imagine this for a second. You're planning your wedding. You've got the dress picked out, the guest list ready, the venue booked. You're excited, nervous, but mostly just happy because you think you've found your forever partner. Life feels good. Everything feels safe. Now add this twist. You also have a twin sister. Not just a sibling, but someone who's been with you since birth. Someone you trust more than almost anyone else in the world. The bond between twins is supposed to be unbreakable, right? It's family at its strongest. So what would you do if you found out the 2 people closest to you, your fiance and your twin, were hiding something behind your back? That's exactly what happened to our OP, a 28-year-old woman who shared her story on RE Relationships. She thought she was living the dream, but instead, she walked into a nightmare. It all started at her family's lake house. Every year, the whole family gathers their aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. It's supposed to be a fun, relaxing week. This time, OP was extra excited because she was looking forward to a break from wedding planning. She wanted to spend time with family, recharge, and just enjoy being surrounded by love. But then, her 22-year-old cousin pulled her aside. At first, the cousin looked nervous, like she was about to say something she didn't want to. And then, she just blurted it out. "I saw your fiancé kissing your twin sister." Imagine the shock. Up's mind went blank. Her stomach dropped. Her first thought was, no way. Not her fiancé. Not her twin. That's impossible. She and her twin had always been close. Her fiancé barely even spent time with her sister. How? Could this be real? Maybe her cousin misunderstood. Maybe she saw wrong. But the cousin swore she saw it. Not just talking. Not just standing close. A kiss. Clear as day, Up went back to her room, making excuses to the family, telling them she wasn't feeling well. She said she had cramps, that she needed to rest. But inside, she was panicking. She couldn't eat. She couldn't think straight. Her brain kept replaying her cousin's words over and over again. Should she confront them immediately? Should she stay quiet and investigate first? Should she believe her cousin at all? Her heart wanted to believe this was all a mistake, but her gut told her the truth was darker asterisk. And here's where I want to pull in some comments people left under this story, because honestly, Reddit nailed it. One person wrote, "There is no such thing as just one kiss." A kiss like that doesn't just happen out of nowhere. If they're comfortable enough to do it, it means it's already been happening. Another said, "The sister crying like she's the victim? That would have sent me. Imagine stabbing your twin in the back and then asking for pity." And my favorite comment of all, "The real hero here is the cousin. She told the truth even though it was uncomfortable, and she stood by Op when she needed backup. Everyone deserves a cousin like that." I couldn't agree more. If that cousin hadn't stepped up, Op might have walked down the aisle blind, not knowing she was about to marry someone who was already betraying her. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Think about how this betrayal damages OP's view of love and family. When a random partner cheats, you lose trust in relationships. But when your sister cheats with your partner, you lose trust in family too. That's a double cut. It's not just heartbreak, it's a rewriting of your whole reality. If your own blood could do this, who can you ever trust again? And what about the fiancé? He didn't just betray her, he threw away years of love, respect, and future plans. For what? For a kiss with her twin! For a little ego boost. Was it worth it? Here's the sad truth. For him, maybe it felt exciting in the moment. A little secret thrill. But for OP, it destroyed her world. That's the difference between selfish choices and real love. And friends, let's be real. Wedding can be cancelled. A fiancé can be dumped. But a sister, that relationship doesn't just go away. Family bonds are messy. You can't fully cut a twin out of your life without cutting out a piece of yourself. And that's what makes this betrayal the most painful of all. So in the end, Op's world changed in just a few hours. One cousin's honesty showed her the truth. One quick kiss exposed months of flirting. And one text message ended her engagement. She told her fiancé to pack his things. She told his sister to stay away. And now, she's left with a broken heart. But at least she knows she escaped before walking down the aisle to marry a liar. The worst pain isn't just losing a fiancé. It's realizing that your own sister, your twin, your other half, betrayed you too. That's a kind of hurt you don't forget. That's a scar that stays forever. But in the middle of this nightmare, she also discovered something else. The value of a cousin who told the truth. The cousin who didn't stay silent, who didn't let her walk blindly into a marriage built on lies. And sometimes, when family betrays you, it's another piece of family that saves you. That's the strange balance of life. Alright friends, now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Could you ever forgive a twin sister for kissing your fiancé? Or is that betrayal so deep that there's no coming back? And what about the fiancé? Would you have kicked him out on the spot like Opie did, or would you demand more answers first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share your own experiences if something like this has ever happened to you, because, trust me, your story might help someone else going through the same heartbreak. And if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another wild Reddit drama here on J.Reddit. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and remember, sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better than living in a lie. Before we end today's stories, I want to share something close to my heart. Many of you know I have 8 puppies at home. They're full of energy. They're playful. But most of all, they remind me what love really feels like. Some of them were sick. Some were abandoned, but I brought them in and gave them a home. And every single day, they give me back more love than I could ever give them. Taking care of them isn't always easy. Food, medicine, and shelter, it all adds up. But when I look into their eyes, I know it's worth it. And that's why your support on these videos means so much. Every like, every comment, every share, it helps me keep going. And it helps me keep giving these little ones a better life. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. You're not just supporting the channel, you're also helping me care for my puppies and make their lives as happy as possible. From me, and from all of them, thank you so much for being part of this journey. I'll see you in the next J.Reddit story.